on behalf of the Oklahoma Department of Career Tech and our State Director, Marcy Mack, welcome. We are very glad to have you. We hope you'll find today's session very intriguing and informing and wanting more. My name is Brian Campbell. I am a Career Tech Regional Coordinator. And we as regional coordinators work as liaisons between the field and the agency. And so we are certainly there to help and support our career tech administrators all across the state of Oklahoma. At this time, I'd like to introduce our team. First off, we have Gina Hubbard, who is our Educational Partnership and Customized Services Division Manager. Very fortunate to have her. My fellow regional coordinators include Kara Pattison, Karen Talbot, Whitney Blaylock, and Patrick Clannon.
Good morning, everybody.
Thank you. And of course, we have Andrea Bradley, who, like, to be honest, is our handler. She coordinates all of us, and we're very thankful to have her. And so just looking through the virtual audience that we have here, I see a number of other career tech people that are on board. I see Justin Seiler, Nathan Brubaker. I see Lori Loffer there, Katie Niquette, Mitchell Thomas, Christy Akehurst, and Alan Stolhan. And there's probably a lot more. I just haven't gone through to get everybody, and please forgive me. Oh, there's Lori Broyles. I see her. She's popped up too. She's also one of us, as well as Justin Seiler and Lori Loffer. So we're glad to have all of them here. And we look forward to what we've got for you today as well. If this is your first OEIP experience, welcome. We're glad to have you. We hope today's session will be leaving you wanting more. And fortunately, we have a method for that. We will be emailing you in the future with upcoming OEIPs. And so feel free to join and participate in those as well. And get this, if you've missed out on previous OEIPs, you can still go back and view those. We have our own YouTube station, and I promise if you go out to that YouTube station, you will not see me doing any of the most recent TikTok dances. Don't do that. So anyway, but Karen has posted for you the YouTube station. So if you want to go back and look at some of the past OEIPs, we would love to have you do that. There's some very interesting. The ones I've been a part of recently focused on cosmetology. We've done one with the automotive industry here in Oklahoma. And then in addition to that, in December, we featured one of women in aerospace. And that was really a good one too. So I've had to go back and look at that one because I was not available to do that. Like I said, Karen has posted in the chat our YouTube site. So please go look at those. Our goal is to provide insight for educators, for you out there in the field, so you can better understand the industry needs of companies here in Oklahoma. That's the whole purpose of this OEIP. But in addition to that, we also hope that you will take this information back to your classrooms so that you can allow the content that you've gained in this to be cascaded down to your students, and so that hopefully it'll lead to a career pathway that leads to personal and professional success. Today's session will also be on our OEIP YouTube site within the next week or two. So certainly, if you want to go back and revisit this, we want you to do that. And next, we also need to do a special shout out and thank you to our sponsors. We couldn't do events like this without our sponsors. And so that page should be popping up soon. And the thing that's nice about that, because of our sponsors, there you go. You can see those there, virtual OEIP, which is us, Oklahoma Department of Career Tech, Tech Labs, Fair Chance Learning, Amazon, which those two are going to be some of our presenters, and the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission. In addition, I also want to thank Tulsa Union for allowing us to use their instructor, Natasha Odom, who will be visiting with us later on today. So thank you, sponsors. Like I said, we couldn't do this without you. And because of their support and their help, we have 2 gift cards today, one which happens to be appropriately from Amazon. So we'll be having a drawing for those and at the end, and we'll certainly make that announcement. So please open up your cameras, let us know you're there, and then that way you'll be eligible for those gift cards. Today, we are going to take a free virtual tour, field trip, if you want to call it, to the Amazon Fulfillment Center and learn about their technology careers. We're going to show you how you can connect your class to Amazon volunteers who will serve as class speakers to help illuminate the vast array of careers available within their tech sector. These sections or sessions are usually 1 hour. They are wrapped with lesson plans and multiple tech experiences. On this tour, you will meet, and I love this word, Amazonians. Can't you just love that? We're going to go meet an Amazonian who created to help students understand career possibilities at a place like Amazon and conceptualize their journey so it can hopefully make a huge impact on their lives and the economic development and mobility of countless students. Before I introduce our virtual tour guide today, I ask that if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to post them in the chat. And also, if you don't have that available, take a note, write them and we'll make sure we cover that at the end. First off, let me introduce our tour guide today. And Corinne, I hope you're okay with that term. It's probably one you haven't had before. I know you've been that for me in the past, but Corinne Hoisington is a full-time professor of information systems and technology at Central Virginia Community College in Lynchburg, Virginia. She has more than 25 years of teaching experience, and Corinne travels over, get this, 200,000 miles a year. I know that's 1 year, delivering keynote addresses to college and university professors and K-12 educators in over 70 cities worldwide for customers such as Microsoft, the Microsoft Corporation, Microsoft Canada, Camp 21, international events, Cengage Learning, Bytespeed, Capital One International Bank, Executive Live in London and Johannesburg, and the International South by Southwest event in Austin. I know what South by Southwest is. That is really cool. She is also, Professor Hoisington is a recipient of the Microsoft Most Valuable Professor Award in Computer Programming. Corinne has authored over 30 textbooks with Cengage Learning, National Geographic, on topics such as Outlook 365, Office 365, Microsoft Windows, and Android Bootcamp Java. Many of you have probably used her textbooks in your classroom. Corinne Hoisington, it's a pleasure and just an honor to introduce my dear friend, Corinne Hoisington.
Hey, thanks, Brian. I thought that would start us up this morning. Well, good morning, Oklahoma, everyone. Brian, are you hearing me clearly?
Loud and clear. Thank you, Corinne.
Fantastic. But I am one of you. I'm a teacher and I connected with Amazon. And I have to tell you, this is the best way to have an industrial partnership to fulfill that your students to see that next round of jobs. Today we have with us an Amazonian, and I'm going to pass it to him in just a moment. But I have to tell you, when I did this with my class in Virginia, I have to tell you that the response from the students was really game-changing. So what we're going to do next is we have with us Tom Berry from Amazon, and Tom is going to tell you a lot about himself, but I have to tell you, he is in charge of the global outreach with Amazon fulfillment technology tours for the whole planet. So let me stop sharing. Tom, I'm going to pass it over to you to tell us what are the great opportunities that the teachers could participate with their classes. Go for it, Tom.
Awesome. Thank you, Corinne. And thank you so much, educators in Oklahoma. I believe these are career technical educators, or feel free to drop in chat what subjects you teach, so I'm speaking to the right audience. And also drop in chat if you've ever even heard of Amazon Future Engineer before. I assume you've heard of Amazon, but I would love to know if you've even heard of us. And for me, I'm the senior manager for global learning at Amazon Future Engineer. You guys are probably wondering, if you haven't heard of us, who are we? What are we doing? Why are we speaking to you? So let me bear with me as I pull up my slides and we can dive into this. And I would say for a real Amazon Fulfillment Center tour that you can see on our website, if you were to sign up and you bring your students into it, you actually pop up and you'll meet a tour guide, probably from somewhere in the US, somewhere in Canada, somewhere in maybe London as well. And you'll be seeing this live experience happening. So I just wanted to let you know that I will not be taking you to an actual virtual tour live, but I'll be telling you how you can go and you can connect to your students, as well as many other experiences. So bear with me as I figure out how to screen share. We don't use Zoom at Amazon as much, but I know it's been an educational tool that has been amazing. So, okay, let's see. Going to put my slides in share mode. I think I'm sharing the wrong one. Stop share. And there we go. Okay, so can everyone see my slides before I get going? Awesome. So really, what is Amazon Future Engineer? We're a social impact organization that aspires to bring high quality computer science education to all students, especially students in underserved communities. And why do we want to do this? Because we think that whether your students want to become an engineer or anything else, they actually just need exposure to this type of technology and the career paths linked to it, so they can go and begin a job in any industry, whether they work at Amazon or anywhere. Increasingly, I joined a CTE council in my local district, and the local landscaping company was like, we need somebody who understands our computer system to order turf products to ensure that we do our our supply chain management correctly. And we have this particular computer system. So it really, at that moment, is when I personally realized this intersects all industries. And our goal is to bring this in a way that helps educators inspire kids at the end of the day. So how do we even know what you guys potentially want and what your students want? Well, we've been spending the last 3 years sitting in classrooms, speaking with students, speaking with educators on ways that we can better partner to help inspire students. And what we've seen in our research with Gallup as well, it just kind of reflects the high level view, is that students really do want more exposure to computer science, potentially within courses that don't say computer science, CTE courses, science courses, and others, but only 49% have ever had the chance. We want to close this gap. And we do it in like 3 big ways. Exploratory learning, where we invite kids in. That's really what I'm here to talk to you about, is our fulfillment center tours and other ways that kids can actually learn computer science, like actually get their hands on the keyboard and practice in a fun way. We also sponsor the nonprofits in our Learn bucket who deliver professional learning and full year curriculum. So if you're familiar with code.org, we're one of the main reasons that they get to stay open for free and work with your students and with you to deliver that type of learning experience. And we have ways that you can sign up through our program to get extra benefits if you're a code.org instructor, or if you want another curriculum to differentiate, we offer those on our website. And lastly, for anyone who reaches someone in grade 12, senior year of high school, and they're thinking about their future, we do offer a scholarship and internship program where we say, hey, we're going to invest $10,000 a year in your education if you're selected, and we're going to give you a guaranteed internship that's paid at Amazon as a 19-year-old, one of the few opportunities that exist in the tech industry to come in that young and just learn how a big office operates. And we're looking at ways to expand from this core set of offerings, but what we've noticed during the pandemic, we've heard from educators, is we need to help demystify the world of technology, these careers of the future. And what we've heard from studying students is students that have a computer science role model, be that a YouTube video or better a live interaction, are 10 times more likely to be interested in computer science than students who strongly disagree. So really, we're putting out new experiences to help you provide them role models. And what we realize is that there's kind of 2 things that we might be able to offer: a personal connection, which is our kind of geared around our class chat programs and hopefully new programs that will be coming up, as well as the demystification, looking behind or underneath the covers at like the wonderful world of technology and how it is built by people and using technology. And so I'm going to talk about fulfillment center tours and also briefly mention a new one that's coming up for those of you who follow space, in partnership with Amazon's Alexa team, the conversational AI technology, and NASA. We will have a new offering coming this spring. So first, I want to talk about that personal connection thing. And that's really about a student wants more than a YouTube video. They want to ask their own questions about like, hey, this is what I'm interested in. Can I do this? And we aspire to bring an Amazonian to tell a relatable journey from their story of sitting in a classroom like your students to landing in a technology company or any company, but oftentimes they have trips along the way. For me, when I give this story, I start off with asking kids, I'm a senior manager of product management. Does anyone know what product management is? And oftentimes they don't. And then I say, well, neither did I. And this is how I got here. And then I go into a story about my upbringing in the military and how I moved around a lot. And then I actually entered the military for my first career and actually spent some time in Fort Lawton or Fort Sill in the Lawton area, if we have any educators there. And I make it relatable and connectable in that I actually didn't know a lot. I had to raise my hand and ask a lot of questions and be like, I did some project management. What does this mean to work with software engineers to do stuff? And I demystify that journey. And whether we share an exact same lived experience or background, I hope to give students the idea that they can be confident and ask their own questions and kind of demystify their own career journey and just start somewhere. My dream would be that they learn in your classrooms and they speak to their career counselor of like, hey, this person from Amazon or this person maybe from another company talk to me. I think I want to do something like this. And then they can get on that journey. And just quickly, some quotes of what students are saying. This is from a ninth grader who's really at that point of figuring out, what do I do for my electives? What CT electives am I interested in? And they're saying things like, one thing that you said to me from an Amazonian who gave them the experience that really stuck to me was the confidence is key, something which I struggle with. It's so inspiring to see women in STEM. And this was a young woman, and we aspire to bring a full diverse range of Amazonians to speak. And our desire, we're not quite there yet, but our desire would be that you as educators could maybe have 7 to 10 different versions of this that meets your teaching practice and makes these people relatable. And we do have pre-recorded offerings as well that we're experimenting with. And you can check this all out at our website, which is amazonfutureengineer.com if you're browsing. Another story is, and this is one of my favorite, I actually have been kind of listening as students interacted with this particular person. She shared her story of being really into art. And students were amazed at your transition from the art world to working with one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And so this person is what we call a user experience designer, the person who works with engineers to shape the structure of Amazon.com. If you've ever done the buy now experience and you're doing stuff in there, this is someone who picks, maybe we should try this color, or maybe we should arrange the words this way to help make it simpler and easier. And her background in art made her super successful in doing this work at Amazon. And there's many other cases and many other careers where you have that kind of non-intuitive connection between what they learn in school and what they do day to day. And so when we want to bring kids kind of along for a ride in a tour format, similar to a virtual field trip, I'm a huge fan of Discovery Education and their virtual field trip. In many ways, we're inspired by this, but we're the actual creators of the technology, bringing kids behind the scenes. And one of our most powerful offerings right now is our behind the scenes tour of technology in an Amazon fulfillment center. So you'll get invited on almost a split screen with a host in 2 different locations, and you'll be brought on a live tour to see what happens when humans and robots work together to deliver super fast delivery. It is literally the process after you click buy on Amazon.com. In warehouses across the world, robots and humans spring to action to put that order in the right box on the right truck to your house. And this talks about that process and everything that goes along the way. And you actually get to meet 3 engineers who work on this process, as well as the people who work in the warehouses day in and day out. So that is a currently live offering that we just opened up and you can book for right now. And we provide some mapping to the CSTA curriculum standards and others, so you can help integrate this into your classroom. And it's appropriate for a wide range of grade levels, and we're making improvements to the teacher toolkit to make sure that we gear elementary educators and middle school educators and high school educators with kind of different ways to engage their students that are appropriate for their level. And already we've reached hundreds of thousands of students and thousands of educators when we started with a very modest and humble goal. So that's why we're continuing to provide this, and we invite your feedback as you take it. How could we make it even better? And that has also led to our work. You may or may not have heard the news, but NASA is returning to the moon for the first time in 50 years. Later this spring, a rocket called the Space Launch System will launch and go around the moon with an uncrewed capsule and come back and test all the systems that's needed to bring the first woman and person of color to the moon later in this decade. And one of the systems that's built in that capsule that they'll be testing is Amazon Alexa, because NASA wanted to commission a study, basically, can voice AI control certain systems and provide certain information to astronauts to streamline how they live and work in space. And so early on, Amazon Future Engineer worked with the Alexa engineers who are working with Lockheed, NASA, and others. And it came up that we should expose students to this journey. And so you can sign up now for the waitlist on our site. You'll see there's a big space offering. And we will be doing a live stream tour from Johnson Space Center during the mission. We will also be doing an on-demand pre-recorded virtual field trip that's linked to National Science Teacher Association standards, as well as computer science standards. And so national next generation science standards, as well as the computer science standards naturally. And the goal is to just have students show up and hear about some of the relatable stories of people who helped build Alexa into it, as well as the broader mission, because there's a lot of other engineering that has nothing to do with Amazon that we're partnering with Lockheed and others to talk about. This is the things like the machine metal fabrication that goes into building a pressure vessel and stuff like that. We'll have all sorts of perspectives on there. So please sign up, and we're really extending that same vision from the Fulfillment Center tours to a whole new place. And for the live tour, we will have opportunities potentially to interact with Alexa while she is in space. So through NASA's Deep Space Network. There's a lot that has to go right because it's rocket science, but that's our goal that we're working to deliver with you guys. But the bigger question people have is, wow, these things, these experiences I just talked about are timed to be about 45 to 55 minutes to meet with your class periods. And if the scheduling doesn't work, we have on-demand pre-recorded options, so you can work with that. And we aspire to increase our scheduling options day in and day out. But oftentimes the question is, what do we do with our kids before or after? How do we extend the learning? And that is what the CS skills that are in our other experiences are designed for. Before you get to a full computer science course, maybe, or before you get to teaching computer science as a unit within a science course or another CTE course, oftentimes students just want to engage with it. So if they took the Fulfillment Center tour, we have an opportunity for them to just code the robots that they just saw, the Hercules robot, and learn a bit more about that. With our Alexa tour that's coming in the spring, they'll have the ability to work on MIT App Inventor, an already very popular coding platform that is used to create Android and iOS apps. They'll actually be able to create the Alexa skills for the first time. You can sign up for this as a separate waitlist, and they'll never have to set an Amazon account or anything to do it. You as a teacher will be able to set up anonymous accounts for them that never capture their voice, but they'll be interacting with the real Alexa, and we'll just be deleting the voice in the back end. And it's a really fun experiment. And I would love the educators of Oklahoma to help us test it out and tell us what they love about it. And see the first time that their Alexa skill talks to them in the ears. And we have something for music lovers. We have an experience called Your Voice is Power, sneaker lovers. It's all the same type of theme, which is take something that students are already interested in and have them learn a learning objective, something that I'm sure you guys do all the time. And we just happily invite you guys to try it out. They're all free on our website. Oftentimes, though, the question is like, to what end? All this exploratory learning is great, and we're reaching big audiences. And ultimately, we want to equip your students in our middle bucket of offerings, these nonprofit supported experiences, to gain the skills that will help them to go to college, whether it's through our scholarship or at all, because we know that no matter what their college degree is in, computer science or something else, they're likely to have 2 times more lifetime earnings and be able to compete for those jobs of the future that 80–90% of them take a college degree or an associate's degree. So I just wanted to highlight that one of the ways that we're bringing that vision to life is a new computer science course from co.org that if you go to co.org, educate CSA this, or you just Google co.org and CSA, we're doing a new version of the Computer Science A course that teaches the Java programming language, oftentimes appropriate for grades 10, 11, and 12 in high school. I just want to highlight that if you've ever taught this course before, this is a whole new way of reimagining it, a whole new development environment that works on Chromebooks, a whole host of engineers from the industry, from all the diverse perspectives, the same people who speak in our Class Chats program, advised to create this real world programming experience. And then additionally, we're funding co.org to think about how do we help teachers learn Java programming and feel comfortable with this curriculum to bring it to their students. So you can sign up to learn more. The first full offering of this is currently in a pilot phase, will be this fall. And it's just a great way to learn about teaching the Java programming language, which for your students who want to become an engineer, that is the most common software skill set that they'll be called upon to use. There's other great languages as well, but this object-oriented programming through Java is a really important skill that oftentimes hasn't been accessible to students, and certainly hasn't been fun to teach. So that's what we're trying to improve with code.org. And that's basically it. I'm not really sure what the rest of the agenda is, but I always like to end with this question. From everything I shared, I don't know if I really hit the mark or not, but are there other career exposure needs and reactions from what I shared? I'm happy to stay on the line to answer questions or whatever would be most helpful.
You did such a great job. Everyone, if you would like to ask Tom some questions, I'm going to be sharing with you how we can bring this into CTE, how can you sign up, all the details in just a moment. But while we have Tom on the line, and Tom, you were amazing, please enter any questions into our chat if you would. And I'll read those to Tom in just a moment here. Tom, it just seems amazing to me that students will get to see how Alexa works in space. It's my
favorite project we've been working on for a while, and we're still working on heavily to make sure that we can bring to you guys.
And, it's one thing in Oklahoma, every time a lot of our teachers here drive throughout to school and to home, they're seeing these Amazon fulfillment centers everywhere. And I bet they're super uber curious of what's going on inside. And with these field trips, they'll actually get to see how transportation works, how tons of CTE pathways, entrepreneurship, how do you get your product into Amazon and all these different pathways.
Oh yeah.
So
one of the bigger career options that actually is directly linked to this is I believe it's robotics and mechatronics that actually is the repair technicians for the robots that operate in the warehouse. And so you can see some of that on display. And those are beyond a warehouse associate, which is certainly a job opportunity that exists in these communities. This is the underlying technology that will be on display, as well as cloud computing. So these robots work by actually transmitting a whole bunch of data to distributed computer and data centers that also exist in many states throughout the US. And that is touched on briefly as well during the tour.
So one of the questions that we have, it says, these computer lessons, running the robots and so forth, is this something we can incorporate into existing technology classes or any CTE class? Or do you have to be a dedicated class of computer science, Tom?
We've seen most of our pickup on the Fulfillment Center tour actually from non-computer science classes. So we've scoped it to, you can actually check out our teacher toolkit as well. It's designed to be general. We've scoped it to be this bite-sized exposure and taste of careers. And I believe it would be appropriate for many CTE classes. And I'm happy to take feedback on that if you try it. And I believe you're probably a non-computer science educator. Give us the feedback. If we need to close any gaps, we will move on that and deliver a better version too.
Yeah, I think no matter what their pathway, technology is changing how we do things. So yes. Always a great entry. Kara, one of our teachers said, Amazon is working so hard to prepare tomorrow's workforce for success. So I think that's a comment. And boy, Tom, we couldn't appreciate that more. Thanks for saying that, Kara, because, so often we want to relate things into our classroom, but we're just not sure how to do that. And let's see, our next question, let me pop this in from Micah. We have the curriculum available to our computer science teachers already, but I'm interested in what you said about smaller units. We have our Intro Fundamentals of Technology course that I would love to see short units. I guess I'm reinforcing Marcia's question, Tom.
Oh yeah, so I'd be interested, every state and potentially every school district kind of has their own CTE pathway strategy. And our goal, being as we're a national program, is to create bite-sized approaches that you can integrate. So if you had an IT fundamentals course of some sort and you wanted to spend a week just learning basic computer science through the vein of our robotics in the Fulfillment Center, you can do the Amazon Cyber Robotics Challenge. Or similarly, our new forthcoming experience is working with multiple educator consortiums, so National Science Teachers Association, as well as Mobile Computer Science, which is a Maryland-based organization, to make sure you can slot them in and out. And increasingly in our work with Fair Chance Learning as well, as we're understanding the needs of CTE systems and how can we create just easier to understand bite size. So I'd say the tours are really ready to go to showcase the real world. And I'd be interested in feedback on the do next opportunities, such as the Amazon Cyber Robotics Challenge, and then the Alexa Skills one when it becomes happening. Like for our vision for Alexa Skills would be if there's an entrepreneur or business management, business marketing class, it's like, think about the app ecosystems, whether it's iOS with Apple, Android with Google, or the voice AI ecosystem. So Alexa Skills, how could you come up with your idea to create a business plan and then bring to life a voice AI app that you would monetize and then everything? That would be the example of using computer science inside a broader business frame. And so we're in early days experimenting. So I believe it can be, and please let us know how it goes.
Tom, if you don't mind, I'm going to take over the screen for a minute and show them the step-by-step. Feel free to stick around, but I know you're crazy busy, whatever you can do. But as I share my screen here, it says I can't share because while the other participant is sharing.
I should probably stop sharing.
There we go. I'm sorry. Hey, great. So let me share with you how you guys can sign up, do all the practical stuff here. So first, I kind of want to share with you, no matter what your CTE pathway is, we're constantly seeing that Amazon is changing the game. I want you to imagine you teach cosmetology in CTE. Do you know now when you get your hair done, ladies and gentlemen on our call today, the deal is Amazon now has hair salons that you can look into this Amazon mirror and pick which color you're going for today and see what it would look like on you way before, or what design. I think my hair has grown crazy long during COVID, so I can't wait to try something like this out. And we're starting to see this example expand in any kind of business. So it really starts sharing with students how technology is changing how we do things. And keeping with that same salon trend, at Amazon, you could go in that salon, get your hair done, and then you could point your phone at these QR codes and get these, different conditioners and hairsprays and any of the product in your shopping cart at Amazon and have it in your house within a day or two. So we're starting to see almost any business doing business differently because of the technologies that Amazon has introduced to us. So I think that's a really neat business model if you happen to be a business teacher. So we're seeing almost everything change. So how can you sign your class up for these class chats and get started? Well, it used to be that when you graduated from high school, just even 10 or 15 years ago, you could work in manufacturing, let's say, in Detroit or someplace like that. This is how used to make a car. When they would make a vehicle just 10 years ago, do you know it took 28 days from the beginning of making that car till it came out of production? But Amazon and any business throughout the world is now changing how they do things. Kind of like this. Do you know every car in the world is made with robotics like this? So we want students to be ready for their ongoing future path and understand how business technology is affecting every product and how we do things. In fact, check this out. Together, people and machines now assemble one car body every 68 seconds compared to 28 days. Well, that's a wee bit different, right? So we need to understand what are the jobs that are hiring? What does that look like? And no matter what your CTE pathway, we need to see how technology is changing it. For example, in marketing, do you know in Shanghai, just a few weeks ago,
shows like this has happened in the skies of Shanghai. On March 29, Hyundai's luxury brand, Genesis launched 3,000 drones in the sky for a captivating nighttime show. The show even broke Guinness World Record for the most unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, airborne simultaneously. The drone show staged by Psy Games, however, was innovative in a whole new level. The sky was filled with artistic choreographies, gameplays and characters found in the game itself. But what made the audience?
So here's what's amazing. Those are all made by drones. The drones, over 2,000 of them, got together and made a giant QR code like you kind of see at a restaurant to advertise new products. So we're seeing technology change everything. So how can Amazon help expose our students to all of this? Well, I've placed in the chat a link, and let me go ahead and share that live with everyone. If you go to the link and scroll up in the chat here, let me head to the site, you'll see this website. And with Fair Chance Learning and with Amazon, you can start registering for these free tours. And the first dates are in February. Please, in January, there are no tours available just because turns out Christmas and all the holidays and returns, Amazon's been kind of busy. But starting in February, you can go to this website, click register for February, and the site that will open for you will show you about 8 different times each week. Now, these will show up in Central Time. I'm in Eastern Standard Time on my computer, so it's showing up for EST. But you could select this class time, and these aren't pre-recorded tours. These are live tours where you'll get your students that are able to ask questions. You can ask, how much do you make? What college did you go to? What classes did you, follow to prepare for this role? So it's really, they're going to answer your students' questions live. And we're going to hear in just a moment from an Oklahoma teacher from Union High School that went through this, Natasha Odom, with her class. So we'll hear more about that. So how it works is, let's say your class falls between 2 different hours. It's going to record your session and email it to you right after the event. So if you have half a class that doesn't get to see the ending, you could show the end of the recording to them and they could put their questions in. And if a class doesn't get to see the beginning, you could show that recording the next day and do the ending. You also can do pre-recorded ones fully and show it to any of your sections. And what they try to do is switch up the times each week so that maybe your morning class could participate. Look at this, 10 a.m., which would be 9 a.m. in Central Time. So that way you could select this. And you can see, look how many tours are available. Now, there's no student information that will be shared. It's all private. So what will happen is you'll put in your first and last name, your email address, not your students, so they don't have any of that information, your school name, your zip code, and let them know that you heard about this through Fair Chance Learning. I work alongside with Fair Chance Learning to help bring these programs to the US and in Canada. And then after you fill this out, you're going to get a link. And don't worry, the link is, you don't have to download Zoom or anything like that. It's just going to open in your browser. It works on a Chromebook, a PC or Mac or any device. And then you could display it to your class in front of the class so that they can begin to participate and see what's happening. So what are these tours going to look like? Well, let's go on just a couple minutes of a tour. That way you'll have a much better idea of what we're talking about here. So you'll get to go, and each time you do the tour, let's say you do one of the tours with your morning class one week, and you do a tour with your afternoon class the following week. Each time it's live, so you might go different places. Let's see where this tour goes to. Listen in.
This is where the whole process starts from. It's actually
Here we go.
To take you through our fulfillment center
in person.
We're still here and working hard to get your parcels delivered safely.
And we thought we'd take the chance
to bring the tour to you,
Wherever you are.
So welcome.
Welcome to that too.
À Louvain-Blanc en France.
Welcome to the Amazon Fulfillment Center tour. We're really excited to be showing you around our building.
Hi everybody, my name's Paul, and I'm going to be your first tour guide of the day. Today, we're in Rugeley. This building is one of our Amazon Fulfillment Centres, or FC for short. This building is 750,000 square feet, or 10 football pitches if you want a comparison. All of our buildings are named after the nearest international airport. The nearest international airport to this building is Birmingham, so this building is called BHX1. And I think you'll agree, the view from where we are now is quite spectacular. This is Sarah, and Sarah's making one of our famous boxes to turn up at your doorstep. Thank you, Sarah. This box has been on quite a journey, but let's go and see where it all started. So let's go and see Adam at Receive.
So you get to go and see what are the roles, how does it all work? And I have to tell you, it was mind-blowing for me when I first went on a tour because I had no idea. I just went and clicked on the Amazon box and it suddenly arrived at my house. So now by seeing this, students start to understand how important technology is going to be. And again, the website, fairchanceLearning.com/AFE. So you can go start going on these tours with your class, and you can sign up now or a couple days ahead of time. So that way you'll have a great lesson plan to bring into your class. Now, in addition to all of that, let me head back out to the website again. If you also go to the website here, you'll see that there are some other elements on the site. For example, you can actually find out some different curriculum that you may want to use in your class. Under the Learn tab, there's middle and high school information, and this is free curriculum that you may want to pull into your class. Some of it's from code.org, Project STEM, and CS Academy. So these are great offerings that you can pull in, and actually, this is over 80 hours of lesson plans if you want to dig in with your class. Now, in addition to this, did you hear Tom mention the chats? So there are now class chats. Let me explain what you can do. So you can connect with a marketing person. You can connect with tons of different pathways, an intern. And by connecting, you can have a class chat with an Amazonian, just your class. So you can go here and book a class chat, and you can do career panels to see what are different pathways, what are different, and they're trying to get up to 7 different jobs here. So you can see what are some of the items that you might want to connect with. So that way your students for free can ask Amazonians these type of questions. There's also a teacher toolkit right here. And the teacher toolkit gives you a slide deck to maybe share 1 week before you have them, the day of, and how to ask them questions afterwards. And I like it when it's just not happening. I want to prepare my students for what's about to happen and how they can really get involved. And when you do some follow-up with your students, I have to share with you, you could take this at any grade level. We actually did a virtual field trip with a 3rd grade class. So you may want to share it with your local schools as well. The students actually drew their own Amazon robots afterwards. I think it's pretty good art. That's better than I could do. And for example, what other schools did and what they experienced. Here's one for 4th grade, and here's one with high school. So you may want to tweet it out throughout your school system so you can share what you're doing. Now, next, I want to share with you what has happened in your neck of the woods. So let me pass this along. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and let me introduce one of your own. Can you hear me out there, Natasha?
Yes, I can, Corinne.
Good, good, good. So pin Natasha Odom. Natasha participated right before Christmas. So would you mind sharing your local experience going on one of these field trips? Thank you so.
Absolutely. So thank you. I just saw a chat from Christy. Thank you so much. So I've been teaching for now 7 years, and I'm currently at Union High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And yes, just before Christmas, I think somewhere around Thanksgiving time, Corinne approached me asking me to do a kind of a trial run, be the guinea pig for Oklahoma with the Amazon Fulfillment Center tours. So we scheduled one of the tours, and just like she mentioned before, how the different tours they don't necessarily line up with class times. I mean, that chances are they're not going to, and that's fine. So we found one that would overlap 2 classes. And so actually Corinne came on and introduced things to my class. So Corinne got to speak to my class, and then they started the tour, and then my next class picked it up, and then it was recorded. So I was able to go back and show all of my classes the same thing. But what was really cool is the class that got to be on live, we had our questions answered, and that was really cool for them because multiple people are submitting questions, and it was really awesome for them to see all of our questions being answered. And it was just very eye-opening and very interesting to see what goes on behind the scenes with something that we all use every day. I mean, I tell you, I have reoccurring like scheduled orders on Amazon for certain things. So it was very cool for the students to see that and to interact with, because they ask questions and we have to decide what our answer is going to be, and we get to submit our own answer. So, and some of the questions and answers that go along with them are a little bit shocking. So one of the questions that we got was, what is the shortest time frame from order to delivery to the person's house? And it was 30 minutes. And that was very shocking for everybody. But what was really nice was, even though I don't actually teach specifically computer science, I was able to tie in my courses some way into what was being shown and demonstrated to us to my classes. So that was really a great part of that. It wasn't completely irrelevant to us. It was still relevant, even though we weren't learning computer science. And this is a complete side note, but I did not know that Amazon had ties with code.org, because I used to teach web design. So I used to be more computer science based, and we use code.org. So that's really cool to know that. But it's a great system. It's really cool to learn, and it's cool that you get to be in multiple places, because they do choose 2 or 3 fulfillment centers that they get to shoot live from. So that was really cool. Yeah, great opportunity.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Natasha? And Laura said that her daughter works for an Amazon plant, DBA, which would be, or DCA probably, the one near Washington, DC, everyone. Any questions for Natasha, anyone? How many, before I close, are considering trying this out with your class? Sometimes having a nice lesson plan ready to roll is never a bad thing. Would you agree, everyone? And it kind of connects us with how we're using this all in our classroom. Natasha, you were amazing. So let me kind of, before we open it up to any Q&As right here, it's been a tough year, everybody. Would you agree? 2020, 2021, I can't believe we're going on the 3rd year of this. And what Amazon would like to do in years forward is actually do live CTE field trips at some of their fulfillment centers in Oklahoma. But right now with COVID, just not the good time. So these virtual field trips can connect us with business in the meantime. And I think the class chats, especially as they relate to some of our fields, I think would be absolutely intriguing. They do have internships for students at these fulfillment centers. So that might be something. And they also provide $40,000 I wouldn't call them scholarships, but scholarships to students and for educators for their classrooms on that same website. So you may want to definitely apply to all of that. You know, this has been a tough year, so listen in. I think hopefully you'll see how everything kind of fits together here. Listen in.
I am healing. This year has been extremely challenging for me. I am broken. And I am healing.
I'm here at the memorial wall. I wanted to do something to remember my mum.
For some reason, I'm having anxiety. Obviously, it's normal with everything that's going on right now.
I think I'm gonna take a break for a while.
You can get through it, and if you can get through it, there's a greater reward on the other side.
Just like anybody else, you know, I'm just trying to do my little part to try and save my community.
I'm just really excited we're back open.
And I am smiling under my mask.
Incredible scenes on the day the fans came back.
Welcome back to the theater.
You guys, it's been so long.
You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, there I am.
Be your best. Never, ever, ever stop dreaming. I don't care what they tell you.
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, find the defendant guilty.
I am proud to be Asian.
We are not drowning, we are fighting.
We cannot keep quiet about climate injustice. No action is too small.
We just have to band together as a community and get people's lives back.
Even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious.
It's been a tough year. And with Amazon and Google and everything that's happening out there, I hope we can join together. My email is corinne@fairchancelearning.com. Natasha, if you don't mind putting your school email in the chat as well, so that if you start to, dig in and you have some questions, I want you to have someone to reach out to. I know we're talking about just a few hours that you can integrate, but maybe even more. Amazon wants to know how they can help us in the classroom. And I want you to know this is not happening throughout the entire country. We actually selected Oklahoma and Washington State to be the first 2 states that have this Amazon experience in the US. Why? I believe that you have the strongest CTE program within the country. And we think if we learn from you and get feedback from you, so if you don't mind, one little request, if you would just jot down my email, and I am going to take your feedback of what your students thought, what they said, good, bad, whatever. What did you think? Let us know, because Amazon really wants to make this better for your classrooms. How can they better align to CTE? What could they bring forth to make this connection? I want you to understand, to do these live tours, Amazon is actually putting out hundreds of thousands of dollars a week to do this. Why? They have live camera crews in these Amazon plants. They have workers dedicating their time to help with this. They have class chats. They're even doing this in French and soon Spanish. This is just really exciting to kind of connect to how we can help education today. So let me stop sharing my screen and pass it back to Brian. What did you think of all this craziness, Brian?
I was honestly just floored. I mean, first off, I mean, just to have you is special enough. And then we have Natasha, and I've known Natasha for years and years and years, and I'm glad to see her involvement in this and getting on. And then you get us the vice president from Amazon. You know, just the context of the people you got to be with us today was amazing. And then for Tom to take us through all of what Amazon is doing, I'm so intrigued with the NASA aspect and Alexa in space. And so I really want to kind of dig in and learn more about that. And, you know, we just talked about aerospace last month with our OEIP. And so, I mean, there's just, you know, with these OEIPs, I just find them connecting more and more and more, regardless of the discipline of whatever the person is in. And so I was just amazed at all that Amazon is doing for education and to help us out. And I feel like the spokesman for the state, how privileged and honor I feel that Amazon has chosen us to be one of the guinea pigs, I guess it might be a good way to say that. But
well, I have to tell you, I was so impressed with all of you, and that's why Amazon now knows about Oklahoma.
Well, Corinne, we're so happy to have you. Almost, I feel like you're kind of a, you know, at-large Oklahoman, and so you're here enough to where we appreciate having you. And I just want to take a little bit of time here to wrap up to say thank you, and Tom and Natasha, all of you for jumping on and being a part of our first OEIP for 2022. It's been a great day and very informative. And I know I've learned a lot. And, you know, what a great lineup we had. It's fantastic. And so before we wrap up, though, I do want to say some of you online today are going to be the lucky recipient of a couple of gift cards. And so I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Kara Pattison. Kara, do you have our winners of the gift cards today?
I sure do. I feel like I need a drum roll. Where's Corinne? She's got the music.
Yeah.
I can help. Let me see what I can do here. Go ahead, though.
Thank you. Our first winner today is Fran Bewley from Gans Public Schools. She's a K-12 school counselor. Congratulations to Fran. And our next winner is Pam Robinson from Tecumseh Public Schools. She is an internship coordinator. So congratulations, ladies.
Way to go. Hey, to our, you know, I know I'm supposed to hear in my script say congratulations to our gift card winners, but I feel like today, because of us participating here, we all were winners. We got to see some of the excellent things that Amazon is doing, and Corinne, we're so thankful Fair Chance allowed you to come and be a part of this. And you know, I can't say enough thank yous about this. It was really good. And Corinne, I know that you've spoken at our Career Tech Summit for years and years and years, and you've worked with our multiple divisions. And I just personally want to say thank you for your support of Oklahoma Career Tech. It has been stellar in the least, you know, and so thank you for that and your commitment to help us be better. And we appreciate that. Finally, if you haven't enrolled in our OEIP events in the past, we are so excited. Next month, we're going to bring one that we haven't really done a lot of, but on February the 22nd, mark it in your calendar, we're going to be focusing on ag career connections. And so we're anxiously looking to see what we'll have then for our ag careers and those connections to industry through ag.